Hey guys, CasualGamer84, and it is day 16 of the 24 days of Christmas. And this video is going to be a little different than the last ones. This was a suggested topic from a coworker, and it's not really a game, but it is gaming related, and it's something that evidently I realized that I kind of collect for as I was doing this video. So let's see what is in box 16, and that is none other than the Game Genie. So I was not afraid to admit I was a Game Genie kid. Some games were just too hard. Some games, you didn't have a contra code for. You needed a few extra lives or something like that. So there's really I can't do gameplay of a Game Genie, but it's a code-based thing. So basically what you do is you take said device, like this is an NES Game Genie. You would plug your cartridge into it there, and then this would go into the console. And you'd be able to look up a code with a manual that comes with it, because this, again, predates the internet. This one, I don't think has a date on it, but it's for the NES, so 80s and early 90s. And you can get extra lives, continues, abilities, things like that. And it was awesome. So this one for the NES will not work with the top loader. You'll have to get an adapter that they sold for it, or one specifically for the top loader. The adapters are extremely hard to find and are extremely expensive, so I don't have that. But I have this one. So I have one for the NES. I have one for the Super Nintendo. Same concept. Game goes in, plugs into the Super Nintendo, and you have a code-based deal. And I also have one for the Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis one I got is complete in box, and it's the same concept. I'll try to open it up here. Same concept. Again, cartridge plugs in the top, plugs into the Genesis, and this is one of the manuals that would come with it. And again, it would have like Gunstar Heroes, protection against most hits, protection from falling off screen. Start specific stages, so you could start stage 5 with 500 vitality instead of 180. Just a variety of games. Now, not all games was in here. But what you could do, and I don't know if it was like a subscription thing or like you ordered it from Galoob, who made the Game Genie, but you could basically get updates, because as you can imagine, once this came out, and again, I don't see a date on this one either. There's got to be a date in here somewhere. Well, 1993. So this was made in 1993. Any games that would have been made after that, obviously the codes would not be in this book. So you'd have to get an update, a firmware update, if you will. And I'm not quite sure, if it was a subscription-based thing, or you order them from Galoob, or you could just go to like the Galoob's website and get them. But they would send out, so these I believe are all for the Genesis, so they would send out little updates. So this is volume 3, number 1, and it would have said games in it. This one would have different games. So this one's got Adventures of Batman and Robin, Contra Hardcore, Jurassic Park, X-Men 2 Clone Wars. This one's Batman Forever, Spider-Man, Mortal Kombat 3. And it's essentially, just updates. And they would mail them. I'm not going to show the address. Well, none of these have the address on. But they would just mail this pamphlet to you. And the Genesis was an 8-digit code, and just kind of an example of the code. So you would look up the game, and so The Lion King, Incredible Hulk, Maximum Carnage, good game. If I wanted Infinite Lives, Infinite Continues, things like that. So again, these were for Genesis. I do also have one for the NES. So this one is Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2, which is a pricey one. Mega Man 6, Flintstone Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. So it's fun to look at some of these updates on the late release games, because those are all hard to find games. But I'm going to cover up the address. It's Chicago, Illinois, and I highly doubt that guy still lives there. But yeah, they just slap an address label on it like so, and ship it out to you. So not only did they make them for home consoles, they also made them for handheld consoles. I have one. If I don't drop all this stuff, I have one for the Game Gear. So this would go on the back of the Game Gear in the cartridge slot, and you'd be able to. I can't reach my Game Gear from where I'm at, or I'd show that. But yeah, so that would work, and I can't reach my Game Boy either. Actually, I can't reach my Game Boy. So one for Game Boy, and again, you would just put it in the cartridge slot like so, and it would make it. It's not too bad, I don't guess. It does add some length to it, like a little cutout, so you still get to the power button there. The cool thing about the handheld ones is they come with like a little compartment on the back of it that you open up, and it's got a little bitty code book in it. So yeah, I'm sure this one's harder to get codes out of, but it's here. So Mickey's Dangerous Chase. If I wanted Infinite Lives on the Game Boy, boom, there it is, and it's a 9-digit code on this one. I'm sure that since this has to be powered as well, I'm sure that the double A's that you put in here, the 4 double A's, didn't last nearly as long as they did before. But yeah, that's the Game Genie, guys. So do me a favor, comment down below. Did you have a Game Genie? Were you a Game Genie kid? Or did you not even know what a Game Genie was? So guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow.